Fox News Alert, new reaction coming in now on the GOP race for the White House, and New Jersey Governor Chris Christie making it official all over again, saying after giving it careful reconsideration, he will not run for president.
I'm proud of this state and its people, and I know there's still much more we need to do together to ensure the future we want for all of our children. So this is not the time to leave unfinished business for me. The stakes are too high and the consequences are too real. So, New Jersey, whether you like it or not, you're stuck with me.
Joining me now, Congressman Ron Paul, a GOP presidential candidate. Congressman, thanks so much for being back on the program. Your reaction to the news?
No, I don't have much of a reaction. I wasn't sitting on pins and needles waiting for the reaction. Actually, if he'd have gotten in, it probably would have been a little bit better for me than by him staying out, because he would have diluted the votes of all the other candidates.
So many have, speculated about whether he'd get in, and a lot of folks wanted him to get in. A Washington Post poll put it at, I think, 42%, said they'd like to see him join the race. That's 42% of Republicans and right-leaning independents. Why? Are they dissatisfied with you and the other members of the existing field?
Well, I'll tell you what, the supporters I have aren't dissatisfied. They're the most solid of all the supporters. They don't come and go. So, and our numbers keep going up. So, yes, I think the others where their supporters come and go, they should be concerned. But obviously, it has not been settled. We haven't had a primary yet, and that's a couple months off yet. It'll be January before we know. And we have to just, from our viewpoint, measure what we're doing and whether we're getting the support and the money that we raise. And so far, I think we're doing quite well. This
latest Washington Post poll shows that you're in the fourth position. Romney's at number one with 25%. Perry and Kaine are basically tied for second at 16%. And you're third at 11%. So you're still in the double digits. And the Post report is about Perry's fall. He's fallen 13 points down to 16%. It's almost exactly the same number that Herman Cain has risen. What do you make of Perry's fall since he's entered this race?
Well, I think it's just a matter of people getting to know about the candidate. There was a lot of fanfare when he entered it and a lot of enthusiasm, but they ask a lot of questions. They look at his record, and it didn't satisfy a lot of people, so they reassessed it, and I guess they've changed their minds.
Now, you made news this week, sir, at a town hall yesterday where you suggested that President Obama, in connection with this, he basically took out this terrorist Anwar al-Awlaki. And you came out and said you believe it might have been an impeachable offense for him to order this guy's death. He's an American citizen, but he'd hooked up with al-Qaeda. And, of course, a U.S. officials say that he was a terrorist plotter behind many plots on the homeland. Do you believe that that was an impeachable offense by our president?
Well, it's interesting how the media brings out or creates their own news. I never brought up the subject as a casual. There was a question thrown out to me, and I answered it honestly. And they said, I floated the issue of possible impeachment. That's so far removed. Yes, I answered the question when I think seriously about it. The ramification of this is very, very serious. And I also said that almost all our presidents have committed unconstitutional offenses, in my lifetime. And some of them have been pretty bad. And I think, quite frankly, issuing the killing of an American citizen without any charges. Just remember Adolf Eichmann. How can you be any worse than Adolf Eichmann? And he wasn't arrested until 1962. Israel thought enough of the rule of law. They took him and put him in a course, and they tried him, and then they executed him. I like that respect for law that they, exemplified at that time. I don't know why we are incapable of doing that and emphasizing our Constitution. The Fifth Amendment is rather clear. You cannot take life without due process of law. So if you throw that out the window casually, I think it's a very serious matter.
But apparently you can, under certain circumstances, if it's an enemy combatant. And there was a famous case that the United States Supreme Court heard in 1942 that involved Germany, Hitler sending over a bunch of spies here onto the United States soil, and they got caught. And those guys, by order of FDR, were tried. They were declared enemy combatants. They were tried by a military commission, and they were ordered to be electrocuted, which they were 7 weeks later in the electric chair, including an American citizen. The United States Supreme Court, when asked to intervene, said, we have no problem with it, unanimously.
No, I think what you're failing to include in your statement is the fact that there was a legitimately declared war against a country that declared war against us. There is no declared war. We haven't declared war since 1941. So there's a big difference of that. I mean, just now to say that Owalaki was an enemy combatant, the government hasn't presented any evidence. They deny. We don't have it. They don't even have proof that he belonged to the Al-Qaeda. And I'm not defending the guy. He's probably a very bad guy. But what I'm doing is defending the process, and I'm defending innocent American people who someday could possibly be treated this way. This is the way we lose our liberties, incrementally. And when I see what's happening at our airports and the loss of our privacy and the invasion of and searches and seizures, without a search warrant, I think that people should realize this, and they should be very concerned.
Congressman Ron Paul, thank you so much for being here.